Well, congrats on the release of Whatever Happened to Avery Jane. What does it feel like now that it's released?
Um, it's been a long time coming with this Bar None deal, and a lot of those songs are pretty much all of them were already released in different forms on different albums.
Okay.
So in signing with Bar None and um, making the decision to kind of rebrand as Little Hag, they wanted to give those songs another chance to be heard and another life as this unit. Um,
Okay.
because yeah, I put out an EP in 2017 called Salty, and
Mm-hmm.
um, an album called Happy Birthday Avery Jane in
Yeah.
2018. Um, so most of the songs are from those two things, and then a new single and um, a live version of this song called Encore. So we just kind of wanted to put this stuff together to give it um, a new life. But, yeah.
Cool. Very cool. Um, so that actually leads me to my next question. So how does it feel like to be signed to Bar None?
Feels pretty cool. They've been like such a pleasure to work with, and getting to know that team and kind of how being on a real label works has been really fun and exciting and uncharted territory for me.
Okay.
My manager Emmy came to a show I played last summer, actually at the old bar that I used to work at, and was like, "Yeah, I have connections with this label Bar None. They really like your music. You should come by the office sometime." And I was just so like excited but overwhelmed by that. I was like, oh, this is like a new kind of dating that I was like, okay, text her back. Like, when do I up to the office? I don't want to like be too forward, but I don't want I don't want to miss this opportunity, you know?
Of course. Of course.
So yeah, it's been really exciting to work with Barna because I mean, they've just put out so many iconic records and started so many bands that I love. And I found so many bands that I really like in signing with them and looking through their roster. They've
Mhm.
just they've worked with so many cool people that I admire. So that's been really cool.
Well, so you mentioned a little bit about rebranding. Where did you get the name Little Hag from?
Um, so it started as a joke because I was going through a phase where I was changing my Instagram handle a lot.
Okay.
This is like, I don't know, 2016, 17, probably 2016. I was just
Okay.
changing my Instagram handle a lot. Um, I was official Barbara Streisand. I was official Joey Fatone. I was official Danity Kane. And then, yeah, so at some point that whole thing derailed, and Little Hag became one of the things, and then I never changed it again, and that just stuck.
Just good stuff. Very cool.
And then becoming Little Hag in real life was sort of when I started getting Little Hagged, like in public. Someone would be like, "Are you Little Hag?" And I'd be like, "Yeah." You know, it just
Oh wow. So you get recognized in public. That's pretty big.
yeah. I mean, and it's also just weird because I mean, we all have such like a strange relationship with the internet.
Mhm.
Um, People that I know in real life, I like forget what their name is because I think of them as their usernames. You
Oh
know,
yeah. Yeah.
I don't think it's like a modern era sort of problem. But yeah, um, once I started getting a little hacked, I was like, it's time. It's time to kill Avery.
So let's talk about Instagram for a second. In your bio, you mentioned to go to your brother's page about Advil,
Mm-hmm.
and then on his page is a picture of Advil.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any? It was funny to click on. I'll say that. I was
um,
like, well, what did I expect?
yeah, it's just some kind of long running joke. He's 18 now, so that account he probably posted that when he was like 15, maybe 14. I don't even know how old it is anymore, but um, yeah, it's just a
It's got quite a bit of followers for
yeah.
just a picture of Advil.
Every once in a while, I'll like post my story and be like, "Is everyone following my brother Jack so they could see a picture of his new Advil?" Something about a picture of your new Advil, it's just never not funny to me.
Oh my God. It was weird and it was hilarious.
All right, but I'm glad you clicked. That's
Oh my god, it was so funny.
he's a weird kid. But.
So where do you draw your musical inspiration from? You said that you killed off Avery.
Mhm.
That must have been something.
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to put a little bit of separation in between like my artist name and my human name. And I also think there's like a connotation with a person's name as a band name or as an artist name. It's like that comes along with an idea of like, oh, you're a singer songwriter or you're a solo project or you're, you kind of get boxed in a little bit. And I just find myself preferring band names that are not human names. You know what I mean?
I
So
get
that
you.
came from. But where do I get inspiration from? I mean, it's a lot of like real life situations that I the song winds up happening as the thing is unfolding in real time. I wish I could write a different way. I think I would probably lead a more productive life if I could like force myself to write or be a little bit more fictional or
Mm-hmm.
um, work outside of that kind of structure. But I find myself just like something shitty happens and on the drive home, I'm like singing into my voice memos or
Oh, that's really cool.
or um, yeah. Or I feel like most creative people always have a little notebook on them, but
Mhm.
I'll be like at a show watching a band and some kind of feeling will happen. So I'm like in the dark, like with the pad up to my face, like trying to write something while also not letting whoever's next to me see what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, don't talk to me. I know I'm in public at a loud place and this is a moment for everybody, but I need to have this right now. So
Yeah, of course. Of course. That's really cool.
yeah.
How long have you been playing music for?
Um, I've been playing guitar since I was like 15-ish, maybe 16. Yeah, 15. And been like, I was like a chorus kid in middle school. So I've been singing and such. I picked up guitar as a way to sing without being beholden to somebody else,
Okay.
And because I mean, once you learn 4 chords, you're good. And in my case, I never really got much farther past that. It was kind of like, all right, I got the basics. At some point, I learned how to finger pick. That was like a revelation for me
Wow, there you go.
in 2018. Yeah, I'm pretty fancy now. But yeah, it was just more of a vessel for the song, so that I didn't have to rely on other people. Um, yeah.
Now you have a pretty unique vocal style, I would say. Did you sing that way in chorus in middle school or?
Um, Probably. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure if I watched like an old video of myself, I would hear it from back then. The the way that I sing is not at all intentional. It's like due to not being trained in singing properly. Like I think if any um like voice teacher heard me sing, they'd be like, "Oh God, you're damaging yourself."
Oh my God.
Because I know that I don't like sing with proper technique. Um, so I think that's where the sound comes from.
Okay.
Um, and it used to be more. It used to be more. How do I put it? Goaty, like very like the vibrato was intense, and I mean it's still intense, but like in a palatable way. But people
Huh.
will be like, "Why are you singing like that? Don't sing like that." And I'm like, "I don't know. That's how it sounds. That's what's gonna happen, I guess." Um, it's definitely been like I think it's a turnoff to some people, which is fine. They're like, I can't wrap my mind around that, or like, I don't know. I guess I've gotten a little bit better at controlling it, or like knowing when to not be so vibrato heavy.
Okay.
But definitely in the beginning, it was just like a natural thing that I didn't know I was even like, didn't have awareness that I was doing.
Huh. Do you think that more of it will appear on the next album?
Yeah. You know what? I have been like dialing it back a little bit just because I don't know. I think using it for like emphasis rather than like having it be the constant mode that I'm on can be impactful. But yeah, there's um, definitely a lot of it happening on the new stuff. Um, God, yeah, I'm really excited about. I'm releasing some new stuff in 2021 and working on the release plan for some singles moving forward, and I'm really excited about them.
Cool.
They rock.
So talk to me about them a little bit. So you have some singles, and then you have an album in 2021.
Mhm.
So how many singles you thinking? Like three or four?
The first one is called Cherry. It's coming out next month at some point. I gotta work out the timeline on that. But so yeah,
But
it's
it's
called
all written and complete and done.
yeah, it's all been I recorded these songs in December of 2019 with Eric Romero. Um, he's a pleasure to work with. I love the work that he does with bands like the Front Bottoms and Deal Casino.
Oh, of course.
He's a yeah, he's a great person and a great friend. Um, so his band Still Hungry is the bomb. So it was really cool to work with him. We did some songs in December. I'm getting back in with him soon to do some more of the stuff that I wrote over quarantine. I was mad productive in like
Really?
in May. Yeah, because I mean, I guess I was like, I'm gonna emerge from quarantine with like the hits. Flawless. I'm learning Spanish. I'm working out now, and um, I didn't really didn't really do most of that, but I did write a lot of music in the first chunk of it. So going back in to do some songs with him, and I'm really I think it's very just as bitchy as ever, but in more like refined and pointed ways.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
In the way that like life continues to disappoint, so therefore I will always have something to draw from.
Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah.
Do you think that it's going to sound more like Get Real? I'm sorry.
Um,
So that has a kind of poppy sound to it. Do you think you'll integrate that song more or that sound more into the new album? Or do you think it'll kind of stray into more of an indie kind of style?
this newer stuff is more rock and roll um, sounding, I would say. Get Real was a like left turn sort of pop venture born out of the friendship that I have with my co-writer on that song. His name's Josh Perna. Um, he's from his band Saint Slumber. He's got a solo project, King Lear. Really, really talented writer. One of my best friends for the past 10 years. One night we got together and we've been friends for such a long time. We always, when we hang out, we're like, we're gonna write something today. And then we just like get drunk and don't do shit. So one of these nights, he was like, I was like in the middle of a really heinous breakup. He's like, we're zoning in, baby. No more dicking around. Like, we're gonna get drunk, but we are gonna write something. So we started that night off with the song Knockoff. And I was so into it. I was like, this song is killer. I'm like reading off texts from my ex in the back. It's like in the background, buried kind of in the track. We
Uh-huh.
write, record it, and it's done in one night. And he's like, I have an idea, and he starts playing the riff of Get Real, and I was like, I'm not interested in that. I want to finish that. I want to work on that other song more. Like, I don't care whatever it is you're doing. And he's like, I'm writing the hit. Shut the fuck up for a minute. So he starts building that track, and he was like, all right, get bitching now. Like, what's up? Let's crank it out. And I was like very nonchalantly sort of like just thinking about what goes on at shows that pisses me off, or like just the general sexism of being alive. And
Mm-hmm.
that one just poured out of me. But that was like a 2 a.m. middle of the night, writing it I didn't write the words down. I just sang it as I was going.
Okay.
And that one completely spilled out of me thanks to my buddy Josh and my buddy Evan Williams.
And
Yeah,
was the music video recorded all in that one night as well, or was it like a little process?
Later, yeah. Yeah, that was a really fun project for me and my sister Kylie. We just wanted to kind of goof around, and really good friends Dan and Linda, they did the music video for the song Blood, which is going to be on this new record.
Very cool. Also a very good music video.
Yeah. Yeah, Blood and Get Real are going to be on this new record. Remixed,
awesome.
redone.
Wow.
Yeah. I loved working with them. They're just the best team. They're so funny and like have really great ideas, and they're just really phenomenal to work with. Dan will come out of the box and be like, I want to do like this crazy shot, and if we spin you in the chair and then we get this kind of camera and then blah blah blah. And Linda's like, that sounds nice, honey. Why don't we do this? And he's like, yeah. She's like, what about this like feasible an actual version that we could do of that outlandish idea? So that's how things like Get Real happen. And then I'm like standing in front of the green screen and I'm like, what about like some cream corn on the back? Like,
let's talk about that for a second. So in the background of Get Real, you have the intro to the SpongeBob porn, and then you also have just baked beans just being spilled out.
Thank you for noticing.
Oh my God, how could you not?
No one's ever been like, I know what that is, you know? Like, you're the first person who's ever been like, I'm picking up on this reference.
Oh
like,
my God.
What this is from.
Just seen the meme so many times. It just
that was us being like, what can we Creative Commons pull from? Like, what are we not going to get in trouble for using? And just kind of leaning into the weirdness of the vibe, just because it was available. It was like, we got a green screen, what weird shit can we put on it? And me and Linda and Kylie, my sibling, are very fucking weird, like just kind of want to freak people out whenever possible. So yeah, that's where that
it was so funny when she just took the card and just the cross and just like inverted it and just shot to her smiling. Oh yeah. Oh, it was super funny.
Kylie's my inspiration. They're how much younger are they? They're 5 years younger than me. They use they them pronouns, by the way. So yeah, Kylie is my little baby. They influence me so much in just kind of the way that I approach not giving a fuck a lot of the time. Like, Kylie's been not shaving their legs, not caring what people think since they were like 13, which is insane to me.
It's super cool.
It's so cool. When I was like 16, I mad cared what people thought. I like wore makeup every day, shaved my legs a lot, and like just really was always kind of putting on this, you know, like I want to look cool, or I want, you know, trying to be
almost like fitting in.
Possible. Yeah. Which, I mean, is no longer like on my radar, which is probably why it's like constant bedhead life. But there's something cool about that too. Like, I don't know, the you that comes out when you're no longer giving a fuck or trying.
Oh yeah.
But that's something I got from Kylie for sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's super cool. When would you say that Little Hag officially formed? Because it says on the Bandcamp that Little Hag was conceived in a New Jersey basement and born again during quarantine.
So, I would say the original formation of Little Hag came when I was recording that EP Salty in 2016. This was like summer and fall of 2016. These songs were stuff I had written. I've always been like a solo writer, been writing and stuff since I was like 16, just acoustic, you know, playing open mics, playing the talent show in school, playing coffee shop kind of gigs.
Mm-hmm.
So these were songs I'd written over a really long period of time, between like, you know, 16 and 21. And when I got in the studio with Joe Pomerico from Telegraph Hill Records, and my guitar player and the vice president of Telegraph Hill, Matt Fernicola. The band sort of just came in. Fern and I's really good friend Owen became my drummer because we were like, who do we have to play on these songs? Let's just get people in, and that lineup wound up sticking and being
Cool.
so
Awesome.
yeah. It was really, really organic, sort of, like, who's around. My bass player, Chris, who is my mortal enemy, was simply never asked a damn thing. I never asked him to be in the band. He just started fucking showing up, and now he's my ride or die.
Mortal enemy.
Yeah, I mean, the dude just sucks. Just, I love him. But, you know, the kind of guy that
Oh my
I'm going to throw under the bus. Whenever I
Sage.
yeah.
Oh my god. Oof. So the new album, Whatever Happened to Avery Jane, was just released on all streaming platforms, and this album is definitely an emotional roller coaster, full of joy, sadness, other various emotions. What is behind the album's title?
Glenn Morrow, one of the founders of Bar None, is the guy who came up with the title. And I hate to not that I hate to give him credit. I hate that other people have amazing ideas. He came out the box with that, and I'm usually the one who's like, yeah, I'll come up with something better, you know? And as soon as he said that, I was like, Glenn, you knocked it out of the park. That is so spot on, because it hits every element for me of, you know, I'm not being Avery Mandeville as my artist name anymore. And Happy Birthday, Avery Jane was a kind of crucial to my identity as a artist.
Mm-hmm.
So the play on words of, you know, the reference of Whatever Happened to Baby Jane,
Yeah.
and just it is a question that I don't have an answer to, and it feels kind of intriguing to present to people as Little Hag.
Of course. What are your favorite songs from the album?
Tetris.
Awesome.
My favorite, I think. Well, it's because it's the newest thing, but Tetris just rocks to me. That was the quickest turnaround I've ever had on a song, because I wrote that at the very end of June. It was like June 27th, because I was playing a show the next day.
Okay.
And I was like, I gotta write a song, because I don't feel like playing. I just feel like playing something new.
Yeah.
I don't want something new, so like, let's come up with something.
Mm-hmm.
And that one just poured out of me, and it's like a 2-minute song. It got a good response at the show, and I was like, all right, let's record this. So between writing it and releasing it, it was like a 2-month window, which is like pretty unheard of for me, and I think for like a lot of people, things always take such a long time to
Of course.
off the ground. But it was such a summer vibe song that I was like, I have to have this out by the end of the summer, because that's where the roots of it are.
Mm-hmm.
People aren't listening to this with a sunburn. I have failed. So yeah, Tetris is my favorite. I love also that live version of Encore. It's the very end of the album. That was like a really special recording to me, and I think it captures like some of the live energy and just the fun that we have when we're playing. Because that's the only I have a version of Encore that came out in 2018 on Happy Birthday that is solo acoustic. I recorded that version the day after I wrote it, which seems to be a pattern with me. I like wrote it and was like, let's just record this right now. And
yep. So
having a full band version, a live version that actually sounds good was really cool. I was kind of expecting it to, I don't know, you never really know how you sound live until you hear it back. And I was like, oh, we were tight. Like, sounds good. So
Not bad. Not bad.
yeah, because sometimes you hear yourself back and you're like, what was I particularly thinking? But yeah, so that was a fun day recording that live.
Yeah, it sounds super. I mean, you can hardly tell that it's live just because it sounds so similar to everything else on the album.
Yeah.
To me, that really reflects that you guys don't like overly edit your music to just fit like a production style. It's just always raw for you guys, which is really unique.
Thank you. Yeah, I think the new songs that are going to be coming out reflect that too. I mean, also the live version of Encore sounds as good as it does thanks to Joe Pomerico of Telegraph Hill. He is the mastermind engineer behind that day, and he really knocked it out of the park. He wanted us to play it twice. If this was at a real show, we were playing this event called Girlzilla at the Asbury Park Music Foundation. This must have been like 2018 at some point. And he was like, "Can you guys play it twice? Like, just so I can like get a really good, I could comp it together, whatever, like 1, 2 takes." And I was like, that feels weird to make people listen to it twice. Like, the grand scheme doesn't really matter. Like, people could listen to the fucking song twice, who cares? But I was like, that just feels awkward to me. And then once we did the first one, good. I was like, Pom, I'm not doing it again. And he was like, Avery, please do it again. And I was like, no, goodbye.
The crowd was super engaging too.
Huh?
The crowd was super engaging too.
Yeah, that was a fun crowd. I can like pick out individual voices when I'm listening back. I'm like, oh, that's my dad, and that's Chris's dad, Dennis. Like, I could hear who's doing what. That's my ex-boyfriend. I like know who's who in that.
God.
But yeah, it was a super just natural like thing. I'm glad in hindsight that I didn't like, I don't know, get weird about it. So I was like, I usually like do a little banter in between verses or something. Like, I usually wind up talking a little bit, and I'm glad I didn't overthink it, and I just kind of went with what, I don't know, was natural about it.
So you mentioned having an ex, being able to pick out their voice. How does it feel like to have an ex on an album of yours, even if it's only for like?
Yeah, I mean, they're all in everything, anyway. So that's like one of my bigger inspirations, I guess. I mean, as it is for most people, relationships and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I don't mind it at all. I think I have like really good relationships with a lot of my exes. Like, we're all friends and stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
For the most part. But I'm like grateful for the things that they've taught me, or that I've taught them, or the experiences that we've had. I'm definitely not one to like hold a grudge. It's just like, it benefits no one, obviously, but like I've always like considered forgiveness as like the gift you give yourself. So when you forgive somebody else for something, so that's kind of, I think, where that comes from.
That's
I'm working
really
on
inspiring. I love that.
Yeah, I mean, it also comes in handy. Like, I'm working on this video, and I don't know if it's ever going to come to fruition because it's been more of a pain in the ass than I originally expected. But it's from one of the newer songs, and the concept is, I sent a song. The song's called Schlub. It's gonna be Schlub, yeah. It's gonna be on the new record.
Awesome.
And I sent it to some of my exes, and was like, I need you to take a video of yourself listening to this song. Like, just plug headphones in, hit record on photo booth or on your phone or whatever. Give me like a reaction video, and I'm gonna cut them all together. Like, kind of First Day of My Life, Bright Eyes by Bright Eyes style.
Yeah, of course.
And of course, of the plethora of people that I reached out to and were like, yeah, I'll do that, I got like a couple back. So I don't know if it's actually gonna wind up hitting the actually hitting the screen, but maybe it will. But yeah, so I mean that's kind of, I think, one of the benefits of not burning bridges.
Yeah.
One of the benefits of not burning bridges is that I could text you years later and be like, hey,
Hey, I need.
I need something weird from you. Actually, my current boyfriend is an ex, and I asked him to send me a video for Schlub, and he never did. And now we're dating, so I don't know.
Huh.
I don't know if I'm gonna get one out of him. Actually, I'm gonna ask him after this.
Oh my. So let's talk about other music videos for a second. So you just released Tetris. Pretty unlike any other music video that I've seen from you, but also kind of the same. What was it like making that music video?
Thank you. It was fun. I have a little bit of video editing skills from a class that I took. I'm back in school for the first time since I was 20. So
That's awesome.
thanks. Yeah, I feel like I'm kind of torn. I always like go back and forth, like I'm too old to be doing this, but also I'm 26. Like, shut the fuck up, Avery. Like, you're not too old to be back in.
Oh, definitely not.
So yeah, it was fun to just and I kind of put my toes in the water a little bit with this sort of video style, with a jokey video that I made with a friend of mine that I just posted on Twitter. It was like not like a real release. We did a cover of the song Mother by Danzig.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
And I had a similar like dancing in my room edit thing. So I was like, what if I just kind of use this as the quarantine vibe? I was like, let me do some vibe science on this and just kind of dance around my room lewdly and see what happens. And yeah, so cutting that together with some summer footage, and it was really fun to make. It's the first time I've ever made a music video, so it was a really fun process for me.
It looked fun. It looked fun, and it looked really unique. That person just coming into the room and you just.
Yeah. Kylie, that's my sister Kylie. Yeah, that was just a natural thing that was happening. I did a take in each outfit, and then at some point, Kylie just walks in and was like, "Hey, like, can I get your charger or something?" Like, just asking me for something. And I was like, "Come be in the video," and they were like, "No," and I was like, "You have to." I was like, "You're Kylie. You got to be in the video. It's like a thing, you know." Yeah, like I'm glad you picked up on that because that is probably one of my favorite moments too, and it's so brief. But.
Yeah. There are all these brief little moments in your music videos that are just like, they're all like little unique. I love
it. Watching and stuff. That's really cool.
Of course. So there are some heavy imagery and outstanding storytelling in track 6, Alexander. Could you take me through the creation of the song?
Yeah. Trying to decide how honest I want to be. Yeah, that song is very
just. It sounds very personal.
Yeah, it is. I'll just be honest. It's such a long time ago now. I met this guy named Alex when I was in a psychiatric unit in Manhattan after a suicide attempt in 2015.
Oh my gosh.
15. And it was a whirlwind of an experience, pretty insane place to be. The hospital that I was in is kind of notorious for being bad. Like I'll pick up, and it'll be like in movies or TV shows and stuff that they'll name drop this hospital, be like, don't send me to Bellevue. And it's just funny to me because I'm like, yeah, don't send anyone to Bellevue. The place. But so I met this homeless guy named Alex, who he's from North Carolina, but had been you know, in and out of the hospital, in and out of rehab, in and out of being on the streets. And he was the one of the only people that I really connected with during my stay.
Mm-hmm.
And I think about him a lot and wonder how he's doing a lot, and
Of course.
kind of wish that circumstances were different and that he had the support that he needed, and that there's more to, you know, there was more that I could personally do for him.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he definitely taught me a lot. While I was there, I learned a lot about myself from him.
He sounds like a really inspirational guy.
Yeah, I hope he's doing all right. He friended me on Facebook a couple of years ago. I should probably just like reach out and see. I don't even know if he would remember me. Like, I don't know. But yeah, that was like a really kind of intense point in my life. And he was like a little, you know, a little shining light in that.
Oh, that's such heartbreaking news to hear.
Yeah, I don't really talk about it much, and I guess that's because I feel so far removed from it now. Like,
mm-hmm.
I barely recognize that person, and like those really dark, horrible feelings I don't associate myself with them in that way anymore. So that song is kind of like this time capsule to me. And that time feels just like 1,000 years ago, because
of course,
just, you know, with a little bit of work and support, aka a lot, that's just definitely not the person that I am anymore, which is nice.
Well, I mean, thank God, or else we wouldn't have all this awesome music to listen to.
It's true. Very
Oh,
true.
God. I almost don't even want to ask the next question I have for you.
Oh no, go ahead.
On track 8, Predator, you
Mm-hmm.
get very intimate with the listener, and it's essentially about the rape or molestation of a girl in the song. Could you walk me through what that track was like making?
Yeah, that's another one that just, you know, poured out in a very natural way. That one is inspired by the abuser in my life that persisted for many years to be a deeply troubling friend.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
So it's a very personal story.
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. He's real. He's a real person. He's a real bad man, and yeah, it was a very complicated thing to live through and work through, because he was an abuser, but he was also my best friend.
Huh.
So, or I had the understanding, or it felt to me as though he was my best friend.
Yeah.
So it was really hard to unpack all of that and look at it for how it really was
Mm-hmm.
years later, you know. So yeah, that song was really cathartic and helped me kind of like organize those feelings in a new way. I mean, I had like done a lot of the work of like reaching out to him, letting him know how he hurt me, reaching out to some friends and letting them know what happened. And at the end of the day, that wound up costing me those friendships and those people,
Mm-hmm.
which, blessing in disguise. You know, at the time it hurt, but looking back now, you don't need people who don't support you
Of
or
course.
you don't need them in your life. So yeah, that writing that song was an integral part of healing for me. And I always, like, it's such a bittersweet thing when somebody else relates to it. Because that happens pretty much anytime I play that song live. Someone comes up to me like, you know, in the corner of the bar, when I'm long after the set, when I'm like finally alone and not shooting the shit with someone, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get like that tap on the arm and like that whisper, like, hey, thank you for writing that, or like I really relate to that. And it's men and women, and it's
Mm-hmm.
people of any age. A lot of, I didn't mean to say men and women, people of every gender and every age.
Yeah, no, of course.
Wind up kind of relating. So it's bittersweet, but it feels good to give a voice to victims and
Mm-hmm.
wind up connecting with people on that level.
Oh yeah, definitely, and it's very heartfelt as well. You can immediately feel it in the song. Track 7, "The Woods." Is that kind of like hand in hand with Predator because they're kind of side by side on the track list, or is that kind of like a more, I don't want to say like October, like Halloweeny, kind of like spooky?
Yeah, that one was written in like the Halloween vibe. I had just seen this woman, Emily Grove. I had just seen her play in the attic of the Inkwell. I think I played right before her, and she fucking blew me away. Really like dark songwriting, like intensely metaphoric, like big metaphors for depression type of
Kind of like Mount Erie kind of thing.
yeah. And she just blew me away. And that was a voice memo singing into the phone on the drive home song. And yeah, just kind of the thing that's chasing the darkness that chases us. Feels kind of corny now, like in hindsight. It is probably the only song I've ever written that's not like super directly nonfiction. You know, this one has more of, you know, just spooky fictional elements. But yeah, that was a fun one to like lean into.
Mm. On Tetris, you immediately start the song and the album with the lyrics, "Everyone wants to fuck me, no one wants to see me cry."
Mm-hmm.
What was it? I don't even want to say like what was it like making that, but do you truly feel that way? Um,
Yeah. Well, this is also like in the depths of like the quarantine horniness where I was like, I am a shell of a woman. I am like trapped in my body, and my body is trapped in my house, and my house is trapped in the middle of nowhere. Not really, but like just kind of.
yeah, no, yep, I get it.
And yeah, it's just kind of been a life theme in a way where like, I mean, just as a woman in music, it's kind of always a looming thing of like, does this guy really actually want to jam? Or is he just trying to hook up with me? Like, does this guy want to make music? Is this guy interested in my art?
Mm-hmm.
Or is this woman interested in my art? Or do they have an agenda?
Of course.
Do I have an agenda? You know, how am I feeling about this? Like, oh yeah, like I'll come over and we'll like work on this fucking song. Like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
How much of that is sexual and how much of it is artistic, and can it be both? And so that's just kind of an element of my life that I like to exploit, you know, because it's how I really feel a lot of the time. And I like making jokes about it because it's not so serious to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I like having the ability to call people out on like whatever it is that their deal is, you know.
Yeah.
What do you want from me? And fucking be honest. So
Awesome. Very cool. Very cool. Now that you're signed, what merch can fans expect?
I know I need to make merch. I have been sitting on some t-shirt designs for a long time and some fun merch ideas. It's just a matter of actually printing this stuff. Um, yeah, I just want to make some Little Hag crap. There's not going to be any physical prints of whatever happened to Avery Jane, as far as I know. It's not really in the works. But
Really, no like vinyl releases or?
I don't have any plans for it, just because these songs were like kind of an older, it's more of a compilation of older songs to me. I wasn't planning on doing a vinyl release. I guess if there was like a serious demand for it, I would print something. But definitely going to be vinyl for this new record, and hopefully going to have t-shirts and such soon. I've been working on a lot of just like funny designs. I never know what people are going to want.
Mm-hmm.
I want like, I like merch that is weird or like funny or sarcastic or whatever. So
Yeah.
I was mocking up with my best friend and keyboard player, Noah Rapcore, t-shirts that say like mommy's little hag in like a, you know, like a baby kind of thing, or like granddad's little hag.
Oh my god.
I think that's probably something that people can expect.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Maybe like a scarf for the winter.
Yeah. Yeah, like a baby, yeah, like a little baby beanie that says,
Oh my god, that'd be great.
"Mommy's #1 little hag." I don't know why, it's just so funny to me. I got a T-shirt at a rest stop in Arizona that says "Grandpa's little cowgirl," and that's definitely the vibe that I'm ripping off. It's just fucking funny.
It's funny and it's weird. It's like the Advil thing all over again.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what was your favorite venue to play at before the coronavirus happened?
Oh my lord. Jesus. I mean, the place that I like call home, and that all of us in the Asbury Park music scene call home, is the Saint. That is like, whether you're playing to a packed house or just the bartender and the sound guy and Scott, the owner, like you're gonna have a fucking blast.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of prefer those shows where Scott will text me and be like, "I forgot to book an opener. Can you be here in an hour?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm getting out of work right now. I'll come over."
That's awesome.
And then you just kind of randomly play to no one and expose, like, those are the times when I get like my most confessional on stage.
Mm-hmm.
I just wind up telling all my secrets, you know? And I'll be up on stage and I'll be like shouting to the bartender. I'll be like, "Hey, remember like when we hooked up 3 years ago and then you didn't text me?" Yeah.
Damn.
You know, just, I don't know, because yeah, what do I have to lose? Oh, I'm defaming my crystal clear and pure name. Like, that's been out the window. As fuck, and have kind of, it's kind of too late for me. Too late for me to take all that back. So
it sounds very therapeutic.
It is. It totally is. I don't know. Something about just being your full self, and being an artist gives you that gift. Like, I have a platform to just like shoot my shit and talk about, you know, whatever the fuck is bothering me, and I get to label it as art. So
Calling people out on their bullshit. Absolutely.
Yeah.
There you go. Cool. Very cool. What was it like to play at the drive-in show?
Oh, that was so much fun.
It looked like a lot of fun. Those high heels too.
Yeah, those are I bought them for my ex-girlfriend. I bought her similar boots for her birthday, and I was like, I'll get myself a pair too. Why not? And I've been, you know, sitting on those shoes for a while, not having a reason to wear them. So I was like, all right, this drive-in show, the boots are coming out. And yeah, so weird and so fun, but so completely like vital to my happiness. Like, as we all were we're all still cooped up in a different way, but I think
Mm-hmm.
the May and June vibes that most people were experiencing, to me, is different than now. Like, you're allowed out of the house a little bit now. Um, Back then, I was just like, if I don't see another human being that's not my family, I'm going to fucking die. Like, I need
Oh
social.
yeah.
I'm such a social person, and that's manifested in, like, when I'm walking down the street, I like feverishly wave at people because I'm like, I need something. Hi, like, wave. I need this from you. Like, give me that wave back. I
Mm-hmm.
need socialization. So that show just like totally fucking reset my quarantine brain. I was just so deep into my feelings, and I needed to be honked at by a million cars in a parking lot as a so cool. I was like, this is bizarre, but it feels really good to like do something that's safe and social. Yeah, I'm really grateful for the Clubhouse for putting on those shows all summer. I think it was you know, helpful to artists. It was helpful to different charities. I know they were. I donated my my cut of proceeds to the Okra Project.
Oh wow, that's
Which,
awesome.
yeah, they fund Black trans um, youth and help feed people. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that's kind of been most musicians' vibes over um, this time period, is like, how can we channel, how can we benefit others with our skills? So raising money has been really nice and really cool.
Awesome. That's very cool. You mentioned that you are going back to school. What are you majoring in?
I'm a journalism major at Rutgers, which it's a really interesting time to be a journalist. Pretty crazy.
Yeah,
I
definitely
find
understand
myself,
that.
yeah, I find myself being like, did I fuck up? Like, is this is this a life that I want to lead? Like, mostly it was just kind of, I have a bunch of credits from when I dropped out, so it's like, let me bang this out now.
Mm-hmm.
Have the motivation while I'm cooped up in the house, while I'm unemployed. Let's actually like knock this out. So this is my first time being a full-time student since 2014. My first semester doing that, and feels pretty good. Feels weird.
Yeah.
I definitely feel like I'm on Zoom, and a lot of the kids in my class are like 18 and obviously looking at their phones, and I'm like the kiss ass old head who's like, I know the answer, like raising my hand on Zoom and
Oh,
like clicking the raise hand and stuff. And I'm like, Professor, I think blah blah blah. Like, I've kind of always been like that, but I feel more so now. Like, getting an education is what you make it. You know, you can bullshit your way, which I'm not guilty of, but you know, I want to glean as much as I can from these experiences, and I definitely feel like I have. You know,
Mhm.
without Rutgers, there would be no Tetris music video. That's for sure. There would be no me learning Adobe Premiere.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's been weird but exciting.
Very cool. We talked a little bit about you being recognized in public, but do you ever get recognized at college? During
Um,
a Zoom meeting? Does anyone like play a song off the record real quick?
you know, it hasn't happened yet, but that would be cool and maybe also mortifying. I think I'd be into it. I'm trying to think of now if I've ever like, yeah, no, I don't think I've ever like been outed. I also think like, just by nature of the way that my music is, I feel like people might be like, can I bring this up? Like, people have like in one of my classes like posted in the chat like, yo, check out my album. And I've been tempted to do the same, but also
Yeah.
there's got to be some I don't know where the boundaries are with me anymore, but they must exist somewhere. I must draw a line. One of the places where I can draw it.
Oh my
I don't
god.
want the professor to know about like my ass or whatever it is that I'm talking about these days. So
But what if they love it? You know, what if your professor is like, we're gonna start out every day by watching the Blood music video?
um I guess that's a possibility. I mean, I guess I also really shouldn't be saying no to any potential new fans. Not really in a position to be turning people away, but you know what? Maybe I'll do it. Maybe I'll drop Tetris in the chat.
Oh my god, that'd be pretty dope.
Yeah. Be like, hey guys, this is the real me.
Riding a jet ski and dancing, singing into a bottle of.
I know I look so put together on Zoom, showing up, rolling out of bed in my fucking flannel every day, but the real me is an icon. So
I was actually curious of what glasses you were gonna have.
oh yeah.
Yeah, I was like, is she gonna have like the black shades? Is she gonna?
I do have so many fucking pairs of glasses, as you could probably tell. I bought a like spinning rack that you would see at like
Oh my god!
you can kind of see it in the Tetris video, like one of those, like the racks that you would put
Yeah.
on, because I have 20 pairs of glasses. And like, I ordered it online and now I get catalogs in the mail for like eye doctor supply warehouse stuff. That I like own a business. I'm like, I don't own a business. Pairs of glasses. It is my my addiction for sure.
It's awesome. It's super unique too. I mean, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if like other like what would you call your fan base? Little haggers?
Ooh, I don't actually have a name for them. Um, yeah, they could be little haggers. You have if you have any ideas, shoot them my way, because I definitely I feel like I would refer to them as just hags themselves, but
Just hags.
little haggies.
Little haggies. They just showing up with like a bunch of different like glasses all the time.
They're so friggin' cheap online. Honestly, I buy direct, and Zenny and Zlul should be paying me for the free advertising that I give them, because anybody who's ever asked like, where do you get your glasses, I'm like sending them a whole thing. I'm sending them all the links. I'm sending them all the tips and tricks about which websites are better for which kind of glasses.
Huh.
It's a whole
It's a
I'm
whole
very,
thing.
very involved with it. But yeah, I buy direct. If you're reading this, please sponsor me. I can't afford this addiction anymore. I need to be paid for it.
Oh my god, I can already see Little Hag glasses coming out. That'd be pretty cool. Just I'd buy one.
Don't even let me go there mentally, because I'm so into that idea.
As the interview is winding down a little bit, I just have a few questions more for you. If you could choose one album to be stranded on a desert island with, what would you choose?
Oh my god. Fuck. Probably Stop Making Sense by Talking Heads.
Okay.
That is the live album to end all albums to me. I mean, even just hearing the recorded versions of those songs on different Talking Heads albums, I'm like, the live version blows that shit out of the water. Am I gonna stick with that answer, Avery? Yeah,
Awesome.
I am.
Very cool. And as this interview wraps up, is there anything else that you'd like to say or anybody you'd like to shout out?
I think you nailed it. I think you asked a lot of really great questions. Thanks for doing your research and like, you know, getting into some. I've definitely said things in this interview that I've never said it before, so that was cool for me, because
Which I hope is okay.
No,
Once again, if you don't want me to publish at like the Alexander stuff because that was really personal, or the Predator stuff, I completely understand that, and I can just take that right out.
yeah, no, do it. I often want that vulnerability from artists that I admire.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to know those intimate things about their process. So I'd like to, I feel like, and I'm far removed enough from those things myself that it doesn't feel like I'm not like trudging up trauma that I need to then, heal from. Like I've grown from those things, so I'm ready to, give to people kind of in that regard. Yeah, I don't really think I have anything to add. I'm trying to think if I need to shout anybody out. I just want to shout out like all my friends' albums. Everyone makes such good music, and but I'm like, if I say one, I gotta say the other.
Oh
So
my god.
I'm just gonna say, stream your friends' music. Follow your friends on Spotify. It helps them.
Oh, definitely.
And it's so important, and it costs you nothing to make a playlist of your friends' songs and give them some streams. I try and do that whenever possible because there's so many fucking cool artists, and
So
like
many.
I just like it almost feels stupid to me to listen to like millionaire famous people even if you really like their music, because I'm like, but there's so many like indie acts and struggling artists who make amazing music that deserve your money, so give them your streams.
Of
That's
course.
what I say. Give people your streams.
Can I get some backup? The gloves are coming off. I'm gonna make a run for it. I'm not gonna go.